You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Glad that you can join me on another podcast of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day or night or evening, whenever you decide to listen. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, and like, all that good stuff. Go to the Facebook page, get in contact with the show for comments or any suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. All right, so I know that you have seen the title of the video if you're watching on YouTube, or the title of the audio part of things if you're listening on Spotify. But before I get into what we're all here for, Paul Pierce, his situation, what he has going on, I wanted to talk about movies. Yeah, movies. All right, so I'm not that big on going to see new releases. You know, I've always kind of been like the $2 movie kind of guy. You know, I'll wait for a movie to come out of the main theaters, and I'll wait for it to go to the $2 theater, catch a deal, matinee, and I'll check the movie out. But there's one particular movie that had recently came out and is still playing in theaters, and I don't know if I'm alone on this, because I want to go back and watch the movie again now. Due to COVID, you know, you haven't been able to get out and do some of the things you would normally do. I'm starting to get back to some type of normalcy as I went bowling tonight and, yesterday. And I really enjoyed it. Haven't bowled in a while. Even had my ordered my own bowling ball, my first bowling ball. I'm almost 40 years old and I'm ordering my first bowling ball, and I had the holes drilled into it, but I digress. So I went and saw the movie Nobody, and I liked it. I didn't have much hope going into the movie, and I just went in and I didn't have any expectations, and it far exceeded my expectations. And Christopher Lloyd is in this movie, and seeing how old he is now compared to when I saw him in Back to the Future really makes me feel old now. But I'm not going to spoil the movie and get into what the movie was about. I have seen the trailers playing on television, scenes, so. But if you are looking for a movie to check out, please go and check out Nobody. I thought it was a good movie. I'm thinking about going to see it again. First, I'm going to go and see King Kong and Godzilla. I'm going to check that one out, see if it's worth the hype. But I just wanted to get that out there. If you're looking for a good movie to go and watch, and the great thing about the COVID situation is, at least the movie theaters where I'm at, they're practicing social distancing. Social distancing. I know I screwed that all up. So, but because of that, everyone practicing social distance, there really was nobody near me. And at the time I went, it was probably around 6 or 7 in the evening. So it might have been maybe 5 to 10 of us in the theater, and there's no kids around, and that's always great. So I was able to enjoy a great movie, stuff my face with popcorn, and I had my diet Dr. Pepper, of course. But look, let's move on. Anyway, if you want to watch a movie, go check out Nobody. You'll enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I hope you'll enjoy it. All right, so some of the news that's been coming out this week is because of what happened last Friday with your man Paul Pierce. Now it's been reported that ESPN has parted ways with Paul Pierce after his Instagram live stripper video. So, you know, I saw the video, and before we get into what I think about the racy video that was released over the weekend featuring Paul Pierce in a room full of exotic dancers and poker being played. This is from CNN that I'm going to read, saying that the cable sports network decided to end its working relationship with Paul Pierce on Monday, an industry source told CNN Business. Now, ESPN declined to comment on Pierce leaving the network. Representatives for Pierce also did not immediately respond for requests for comments. Pierce was an analyst for the network on multiple NBA shows. That included the studio show, The Jump, and its pregame show, The NBA Countdown. The NBA Countdown sucks, by the way. Pierce joined ESPN right before the 2017-2018 season. All right. So I'm sure by now you all have seen the video. We all have seen the video. And I'm just going to be straight up with you. I have no problem with what he was doing. I have no problem whatsoever. The man was living his life. He was enjoying life. I heard from people saying that Paul Pierce was married. He shouldn't have been doing that. Now, Pierce, I believe, came out himself and said that he's not married. So he's not married. I have no problem with what he was doing. No problem at all. If you want to sit up here and have strippers rub on you while you're playing poker, and women are twerking around you, living the good life, look, I'm all for it. I am all for it. I have no problems whatsoever. I wouldn't had minded even being invited, you know. There's one point in the video where he's telling Monica that she should have came over if she was in the LA area. Hey, Paul, you could have invited me. But on the flip side, because there's always a but, you can't show that type of video of you smoking weed with strippers. You just can't. You just can't do it, Paul. You just can't. You know, the type of job that Paul Pierce has, he should know that he is not able to do something like that. Paul Pierce, you're not a guy who works at Popeyes or Kroger's, and, you know, you're not just some average Joe who just uploaded a video to Instagram with you smoking weed, and, you know, you have exotic dancers twerking behind you. You know, you should know better than that. I don't even work in the field that Paul Pierce is in, but I do work a professional job where I know I could not do that at all. You know, I take that back. The job I'm at now, probably so. When I was working two jobs, the other job that I was working that I ended up leaving, there's no way I could have posted something like that online without having some type of repercussions. You know, so Paul Pierce should know better. You know, it's not surprising to me that ESPN decided to let him go. But the excuse that they gave for letting him go was a cop-out. They gave the excuse of basically if someone else had filmed it and uploaded the video other than Pierce, it would have been fine, which I don't believe at all. ESPN is a Disney company. They're owned by Disney. You know, they're very weary. They're very strict of the type of content. They don't want something like what Pierce ended up putting out. being put out by people that are employees of the ESPN/Disney family. That's not what they want to portray. So the excuse was weak. Then I heard a weak excuse saying someone was saying that it probably because of it was the COVID situation, and you can miss me with that because they didn't have masks on, and look, no one is wearing masks inside the house. I was just at the bowling alley, bowling, okay, and nobody was wearing any mask while bowling, or were what social distance? There was no social distance at all. All 40 lanes were filled. All 40 lanes were filled. Shout out to having the all you can bowl for $12 on Wednesdays, right here in Atlanta. Which is one of the reasons why I went bowling. I love it. That's gonna be my new Wednesday thing. But anyway, though, so you can miss me with the whole COVID excuse. Look, at the end of the day, Paul Pierce, you're not a regular guy. You can't do stuff like this. You don't work at Popeyes. You don't work at Kroger's. You don't work for some warehouse company that they don't care. But also, look, Pierce. There's no need to cry for this guy. Pierce is in a much better financial situation than the average guy. I've also heard excuses of Pierce. They were saying that he probably did this on purpose, that he was wanting to get fired, and I never understood that when people try to get fired, just quit, Now, I believe when you quit, there's some situations, or it might be all situations, I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this, but I believe that when you quit, you're not able to receive unemployment benefits. I know when you're terminated, you are, but if you quit willingly, I don't believe you're able to get any type of unemployment benefits. But it's not like Paul Pierce needs that. Like I said, Paul Pierce is in a much better financial situation than the average guy. So I'm not sure why that would even apply to him. I don't know why people do it anyway. Well, never mind. I take that back. When it comes to the unemployment, I get it. You'd rather be fired than quit. But again, Pierce isn't in that situation. Paul Pierce is going to be okay, people. No need to cry over Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce will be fine. He will go on and he will continue to live his best life. He will continue to live the life I want to live on Friday nights, playing poker with the fellas. I got some dancers behind me. Now I'm not the weed guy, but I'm more so into a nice cigar. Give me some brandy, and I'm set. I'm good. I'm good to go. Give me some brandy and a cigar, and I'm great. All right, let's move on to this day in sports. A lot of things happen on this day in sports, that being April the 8th, Thursday. Well, not the day, but April the 8th. You get it. All right, this day in sports. Back in 1968 on this day, baseball's opening day is postponed because of Martin Luther King's assassination in Memphis, Tennessee. R.I.P. to Dr. Martin Luther King. I was going to say something, but I'm not. All right. Also on this day, back in 1969, the first Major League Baseball game is played in Canada. For those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure you're younger. It's got to be the younger generation. Pretty much under 25, I would think. Probably don't know this, but there was a team in Canada. Two teams. You had the Blue Jays, which I believe came later, but you also had the Montreal Expos, who are now the Washington Nationals. Just a little history lesson there. Also in 1969, the expansion teams, the Royals, Kansas City Royals, the Montreal Expos, the San Diego Padres, and this team, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have not heard of, the Seattle Pilots, win their first games as expansion teams in 1969 on this day. Now, who are the Pilots, you ask? They played only one season in Seattle, and the next season they went on to become the Milwaukee Brewers in 1970 in the American League, later switched leagues over to the National League. Also on this day, back in 1974, Hank Aaron hits his 715th home run off LA Dodger pitcher Al Downing, breaking Babe Ruth's all-time record in Atlanta. Also on this day in 1975, Frank Robinson debuts as the first African-American baseball manager. And on this day back in 2001, Tiger Woods wins his second Masters and his sixth major title. Hey, look, guys, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to the Facebook page to get into contact with the show for comments or suggestions. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.